For the first DIY, you're going to be using a frame, and then you don't need the backing, so what I've done is just removed the backing, took all of the packaging out. So you just want the frame and the glass, and then you're going to secure the glass in place with the backing here, the little clips that are provided on the frame. Now I'm actually going to be using my CRICUT because I don't use it enough, and I have been sent these to review and use within my projects. These are all from Htvront. They sell really good quality products for a lot less compared to other places that I have seen. So I've got a mixture of stuff here. I've got some cotton mats, and they have different grips. So I've got some that is light grip, stronger grip, fabric grip. I also have a scraper and some vinyl. I've got black and white vinyl, and I'm going to be using both in my projects today. I will leave the link to them in the description box if you're interested in checking them out. So I'm getting the text ready here, and the font that I'm using is Cold Outside, and I get all of my fonts from defont.com. And then I've stuck the vinyl down onto the cutting mat, and I've just placed that inside my CRICUT, and I'm just turning it on to the vinyl setting here. Once you're all ready, press that flashing C button, and then it will just start cutting. They also sell some transfer tape, so I'm going to cut this to size just to make it easier for me to transfer the lettering. So I'm just going to peel the transfer tape now. I'm going to also use the Htvront scraper. So you've got two in here, a bigger one and then this one here. So now I'm just going to peel this away, and the text will come away with it as well. Now I'm going to transfer it onto my frame, just centering it where I would like, and then using the small scraper again just to get that onto the glass nice and firm, and then you just simply pull it away. So I'm just going to finish doing that, applying the rest of my text onto the frame. And as simple as that, the first DIY is done, and I actually forgot the little dot that goes on top of the eye, so I've got to find where that's gone and stick it back on. So I'm going to be taking an embroidery hoop and some burlap. So I'm just getting the burlap in there. So I've just cut off all of the excess burlap. Then I went onto my CRICUT again and I wrote out "Let It Snow." I also added a few snowflakes. I got my white vinyl ready on the cutting mat and just set it up in my CRICUT to cut. So I've got my design here, and this isn't a CRICUT tool or anything. It's actually from a dental tool set, like a kit, and I thought, oh, I could use that for weeding. So yeah, that's what I'm using. Just press down the letters so that they stay behind. So you can see that I've got it all done now. It's kind of a little bit hard to see because it's white and white, but I've got all the details left, all the snowflakes and the snow, and then I've got "Let It Snow," and I've thrown away all of the vinyl that was surrounding it. And now I'm going to take a little piece of the transfer tape. I'm just going to see how much I need and then cut it to match the size. And then you're just going to peel a little away. You're going to match it up at the corners. And then just to make sure you get it nice and smooth, I'm going to be rolling the rest of the transfer tape along with the scraper. Then I'm going over it again just to ensure that it's actually stuck to the transfer tape before we transfer it to the embroidery hoop. Now I'm just peeling it away. And then you've got your design on the sticky transfer. So let's bring the embroidery hoop back and place it where we like. And then again, just use a scraper to make sure it gets onto the fabric. So here it is, all transferred, and then it doesn't look really good, by the way. Then I'm going to add a bow that matches, and I've got one that's got really nice pearls on. I thought it just really matches the white as well. And I have also added some snowflakes from my CRICUT, and I'm going to add that to the bow. So I've got another one here, I'm just going to peel it. Then I need to get rid of the little bits inside. Then I'm just going to add that onto the bow as well. Then I think I've got one more, I'll see if I'm going to use that. Just bring it back and just peel it away. So now I'm just going to add some hot glue, and then you stick it to the bottom of your embroidery hoop, just making sure that you're covering this. And here's the finished wreath. It's really high-end and classy in my opinion. It's simple, but I really love it. I don't know, this might be my favourite, but we'll have to wait until DIY number 3. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this to a nice brown shade because I want it to look like a house, and I really love this. I didn't actually want to use it, but I needed something like this in this shape, and I didn't have any wood, so I remembered I had this in my bedroom. So I thought, okay, I'm going to paint one side and use it for my crafts, and then I'll still leave this side so that I can enjoy both sides. So I'm just going to add some paint to it. Oh, I actually think I need to go a bit darker because the grey is still coming through. Just changing my shade of paint because the other one was not thick enough. I actually prefer this shade anyways. Let's just snip this off because it's getting in the way. So I'm done painting. I'm going to set this to dry, and then we'll come back to finish the house. Now this is nice and dry. I'm going to be taking this to kind of pipe some decorations on the top here. I'm going to be using this from Poundland. You can find spackle from Dollar Tree as well. And once you add it inside here, I would suggest using some water to mix it up a little bit. I do find it's too thick otherwise. Oh, and definitely use some gloves for this as well. So I'm just going to snip the end off the bag. So I've got my mix here, and like I mentioned, I have added water to it. I'm just going to, like you're piping, or like you're icing a cake rather, because this is going to be like a gingerbread house. So I'm just going to make it look nice and sweet. And while this is wet, I'm just going to be taking some toppings that I've brought. I'm going to sprinkle them on the top. These are some hearts, and then these are just some sprinkles. Alright, so this is all nice and dry now, and everything is stuck to it, all the toppings that I added, so you don't need to add any glue or anything like that. I've also filled in the hole there with the same thing, the polyfiller, and I sanded it and just went over it with a bit of paint. So now I am ready to transfer my design on. This is a little house design that I have got. Again, it's very difficult to see right now because it's all white and the light is pretty bright. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, just take out all the bits, or weed them out using this dental tool. So I've just finished transferring the vinyl, and I did lose a few dots, so I've gone in with some tulip puffy paint just to add a bit more details, and I've also added some just at the top as well, and you can see there. So I'm just going to let this dry, and then we'll be done with this DIY and look at how they've all come together. So this is a little gingerbread house. I think these are wonderful as decor, but also little handmade gifts, maybe something that you can even craft to sell. It's just funny because I can see a little monster in the design of the house. Does anyone else see it? And I think they look so wonderful together. They always look lovely when you just, arrange them together, and it creates such a lovely seasonal and festive vignette, don't you think? Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.